victory over Maryland. We'll also take a close-up look at the Big Ten in our annual conference preview. And we'll have our scouting report on Wisconsin. All that and more coming up next.
Everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. The Wolverines beat Maryland 41-21. They finish up their non-conference record 2-1. And friends, I hate to tell you this, but Bo Schembechler has become a passing coach. That's right. He threw it all over the park today in the first half, and I'm a little disappointed in you personally.
No kidding.
That's right.
After you've been brought up in the running game.
And to watch you throw it all over the ballpark, I got to tell you, I almost left the press box.
There's a fundamental weakness here.
That's right.
And I'm trying to do something about it, Jim.
Well, with Elvis Grbac out there throwing the ball and receivers like Greg McMurtry and Chris Callaway, I don't blame you. It's a way to get the ball to some very good players.
Well, if the defense is going to gang up on you, and particularly on early downs, first down, not let you run the ball, I think you have no choice but to pass it. And fortunately, you know, we can throw pretty decently, and we have excellent receivers. So it just stands to reason that that's the way we should have started the ball game, and that's the way we started it.
And basically taking what the defense gives you, and that's been your philosophy all your career, really.
Well, right. When basically, if they bring the eighth man into the running game, you had better pass. And most teams are going to attempt to do that. So we'll probably be passing early a lot more frequently.
In the situation, you win the toss, decline the choice.
We deferred. We deferred to the second half.
Right, and the defense just gets it done.
Bobby Abrams with a great sack. I thought he had some big plays for us early. And so then we finally get the ball with field position. This is the first play of the game. And Elvis throws out here to Chris Callaway, who comes close to the first down.
Give me that fullback off tackle.
Still an exciting play.
You bet, and this one's even more exciting.
This is Elvis throwing for the corner here to Chris Callaway for a touchdown, and we take a 7-0 lead.
And 2 out of the 4 plays are pass plays. You get in the end zone, have a 7-0 lead, and the defense again comes up big.
Well, this is a 3rd and 21. They hit a pass here. Fortunately, we got a good tackle and a fumble. Got the ball at midfield.
Vada Murray caused the fumble. This is his second big game in 2 weeks.
Well, that's true. He made some plays and that really helped. Here's a great camera angle to Chris Callaway for a curl over the middle. And then Grbac comes right back and hits McMurtry again.
And you're going to the air because they've got the 8th man up on the ball.
They're showing us, you know, and he comes right back here down the goal line, and McMurtry takes it on a post route for a touchdown.
Players we talked to said that you checked run to pass.
They did, huh?
Uh-oh, they shouldn't have?
Well, there's a lot of checking going on in there, Jim. Here we scramble again, and Bobby Abrams does a great job of sacking quarterback. We had quite a few sacks there early, and then I thought our defense played extremely well early, and then later on I thought we tailed off a little bit. Here's a screen pass that we didn't play very well. They get down to our 40-yard line. This is a pretty good offensive team. I'm surprised they move the ball real well. These turnovers helped us early. And here's another fumble that we recover at a time when they were driving the ball.
And you go deep to McMurtry.
Go right back, go deep to Greg, who catches the ball, and we're down inside their 25-yard line.
And did you know they were going to play the defense up snug with their linebackers?
Yes, that was our intention, just to throw the ball. Most teams nowadays, Jim, here's Tony Bowles breaking outside on an off-tackle play because they jammed everything there inside. And, yeah, the reason that we decided to throw the ball, that, you know, most people are making it difficult for us to run. That was a power sweep by Leroy Horde for a 5-yard gain. And here Tony Bowles takes his round right in, dives into the end zone for the touchdown, and we lead 21-0.
At this point, it looks like a little bit of a cakewalk, but as you said, their offense is good. They move the ball, and here's an example.
They move the ball real well. Here they hit a curl pass into the sideline at midfield.
And this O'Donnell's got himself an arm.
I think O'Donnell is an excellent quarterback. This pass was played poorly. They made a great catch on it for a touchdown. They're back in the game 21-7.
And then here's your big play to put them really down in a hole again.
This is a draw play. And it was jammed up on the front side. Tony broke it to the back side. And I think what happened is a couple of those secondary backs took bad pursuit courses, underestimating how fast Tony is. And once he got out into the clear, it was a touchdown.
Now, I agreed with you watching the game. Maryland moved the ball pretty well after a fashion. They didn't turn it over, so at 28-7.5, you're still not out of the woods. I know you felt that way.
Well, I thought in the second period, our defense let down just a little bit. I also felt in the entire first half that we didn't really rush the ball very well at all. Tony broke a 60-some yarder, but that was on a draw play. We weren't really up there blocking and doing a good job running the ball.
And the big story, of course, in the game was the passing game, and the passing game makes the receivers a very happy group of guys.
We went into the game with a lot of run-pass checks and stuff like that, and they were just giving us a pass. And we went into the game figuring if they're going to give us passes, you know, we're just going to take them. And that's what happened today.
Did you know that Buick ranked?
And you know, it wasn't that nobody wasn't giving the effort. It was just that our technique was bad, and you know, we were blocking the wrong people. And so this week we concentrated on that. And then when we got into the game, we showed a little improvement.
So Leroy Hort, of course, had a great game running, but that running game didn't happen until the second half. And Bo, probably the reason for that is that after the first half throwing the football, I think you told them, we're going to get this done on the ground sooner or later, and I'm going to make it start now.
Well, it wasn't that as much as I think the Maryland defense realized they had to do a better job of stopping the passing game, and they did. But in the meantime, they gave us a little more running room inside.
Did you? And you were interested in getting something done between the tackles, weren't you? Because you'd gotten outside a couple times.
That's right. I think it's important for us to be able to run the ball inside. I don't think you can let those people in there stand up and rush your passer. And it's important for us to be able to run.
And here opening up the third quarter,
we opened up third
possession.
quarter. That's Leroy Hort, breaks for a first down over our 40-yard line. And we come right back again and give it to Leroy on a sweep, and he cuts it back in for good yardage and picks up another first down. So we get two quick first downs here. But this is a 3rd and 17, and we decide to go with the deep one, and Greg McMurtry makes a great catch down at the 5-yard line, and we're down there to the 1-yard line.
McMurtry just making a habit of making great catches there.
Right. This is Hort on a cross buck, goes in for the touchdown, and it's 35-7. The big play is 3rd and 17 when you hit a deep pass like that. I'm sure the coach at Maryland was upset with that. Here,
Alan Jefferson.
Jefferson made a nice cut there because we missed the block, and he came inside that guy and did a great job. Here he breaks outside on a draw play and does some good running. I was happy to get him in the game.
Yeah, after his
give
leg
him a chance
problem,
to run.
You know, it was good to see him back in there.
We stalled here, and Carlson kicked a 48-yarder, I believe, and that made the score 38-7.
At this point, you had to feel, okay, I got it under control, and I'm moving it on the ground, so now I think that we're a little safer, huh?
Right. And, but, I mean, we're fairly safe, but that doesn't mean that we're getting everything accomplished that we want. Here, we're running the football and doing a good job. Alan Jefferson carrying most of the time. And then with 3rd down and 3, down near the goal line, we call for a pass play. And this lad from, this Tomlin lad from Maryland intercepts and runs for touchdown. Now, Jim, as this season goes along, it's 3rd down and 3 on the goal line, and I throw a pass like that.
Can I come down and talk to you?
I want you to lead the alumni in replacing me. I want...
You got it.
No coach can be that dumb.
You know, I bet I get some support for that, too.
I think you would. You get a lot of support. Here's Bernie Leggett, a freshman fullback on a draw play. Picks up big yardage. This is Leggett again. I think he's going to be a pretty good back in there.
Got some power. He was carrying people with him.
He was strong and ran well. Go back. Here's a screen pass. I thought Alan Jefferson did a good job, ran through that tackle. Guy jumped on his back. It's number 40, and he carried him down there for a first down. We foul this one up, too, and kick another field goal. And so it's 41-14.
Still pretty much in hand, and now you got your second liners in on the defensive side, and I know this bothers you when you see this.
Well, now here's 3rd and 16. Wouldn't that bother you? Look at this tackling. That's the thing that bothers me. You put these youngsters in here, you expect them to tackle a little better. And also, we played this terribly, this alley-oop pass for a touchdown for Maryland to make the score 41-21.
That's the final in the game. You win your non-conference record 2-1. Do you feel confident about this club as you head into the Big Ten season?
I think we're getting better, but, you know, I don't know whether we're good enough to win it. We have too many tough games to play out there. We have Michigan State on the road, Illinois on the road, Iowa on the road, and then, of course, Ohio State in the last game here at home. Those will be the 4 big ones. But we can't take any of these others lightly because we're not good enough to say that we can just go out there and this other team's going to roll over dead.
One of the questions about entering into the conference schedule, maybe some of the injuries. Now, 2 guys come to mind, Jared Bunch and Michael Taylor, the quarterback. How are they in their progress?
I see no change in their status right now, Jim. I don't think we'll have them this week. And after that, I think it's going to be a week-to-week deal. I hope to get them back soon. But that's a doctor's decision. You know, once they're gone, they're gone. And the problem is when they've been out as long as those 2 have been out, they need practice time before they're ready to play.
Well, Wisconsin is the opener in the Big Ten Conference. Don't go away, everybody, because we'll be back and we'll take a look at the Big Ten Conference and the key players Michigan will face this year. That's next when Michigan Replay continues.
The Big Ten Conference should again enjoy another very competitive year. And as always, the talent level is very high. Quarterbacks, running backs, and inside linebackers seem to dominate the league. At Michigan, must see all of them during the year. Jeff George at Illinois is maybe the best pure passer the Big Ten has seen in years, and the Illini are very dangerous just because of his presence. Dave Schnell leads Indiana and is as good an all-around threat as anyone. And Ohio State's Greg Fry has improved. And at the end of last year, the Buckeye offense was very tough to stop. In the running backs department, the Thompsons have it. Indiana's Anthony Thompson is the Big Ten's returning leading rusher and a bona fide MVP candidate. At Minnesota, Darrell Thompson is just as good and always seems to have his best day against the Wolverines. Blake Ezor of Michigan State was the league's 3rd best rusher last year, and despite suffering an injury against Notre Dame, he'll be a factor before the season ends. And Ohio State's Carlos Snow should not be overlooked. He's a small package, but a very dangerous back. At linebacker, the league's top 3 from last season are back. Michigan State's Percy Snow tackles everything in sight and is a Butkus Award candidate. Derek Brownlow of Illinois led the league in tackles last season and is back for a return engagement. And Brad Quast continues to patrol the Iowa defense as he's done since he was a freshman. They were all-conference first-teamers a year ago, and we shouldn't forget Minnesota's John Leverett, who would be an all-star first-team selection if he weren't in the same league as the other 3. The charge from the defensive line is led by Spartan Travis Davis. He anchors one of the best units in the entire league. Mo Gardner at Illinois is another tackles for loss leader that came into his own last year. And Jeff Keppel of Iowa is another in a long line of Hawkeye standouts that have made an impact from the defensive front. In the secondary, Derek Kelson of Purdue returns, and all he did last year was lead the conference in breaking up passes. Zach Dumas of Ohio State keeps opposing receivers honest. Dumas was a second-team All-Big Ten selection a year ago. Marlon Primus of Illinois and Merton Hanks of Iowa are also very good and are leading the way into the conference honor roll this year. It isn't easy for the defensive backfield either, thanks to the likes of Chris Gators from Minnesota, who led the entire league in receiving last year, and he's back for an encore. If he isn't tough enough, Illinois' Stephen Williams and Purdue's Calvin Williams will make you worry. They are both very fast and capable of the big play at virtually any time, and they see the ball a great deal because of their big play ability. The big tight ends in the league are led by Jeff Finke at Illinois. He's a very solid blocker, and he's a very steady receiver for the Jeff George Ariels. In the offensive line, Bob Kula of Michigan State is taking over very nicely for the graduated Tony Mandarich, and he's joined as one of the league's elite by Kurt Lovelace of Illinois, Bill Anderson of Iowa, and Jeff Davidson of Ohio State. The kickers in the conference are also very good. As a matter of fact, the top 2 scorers from a year ago are back. Michigan State's John Langlow and Ohio State's Pat O'Morrow were 1-2 in kick scoring. Michigan will see all of these great ones this season, and with Michigan State, Iowa, Minnesota, and Illinois on the road, it makes the Big Ten a virtual minefield of upsets for the Wolverines.
Oh, the Big Ten Conference is going to be a tough one, and you mentioned you got probably the toughest schedule of the bunch because you got the tough guys on the road, and it looks like Illinois, Michigan State, after the preseason non-conference schedule anyway, look like the teams that are going to be toughest. Well,
first of all, we play all of the Big Ten teams except Northwestern, and that means that we're playing all the real contenders, and we play most all of them on the road. That's Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan State. And then, of course, we have Ohio State at home in the last game. So our schedule is the toughest by far. And I believe that the only way that we can win the Big Ten championship is to win every conference game.
One of the things that you have to do also, and in the conference, is everybody is shooting at you because you're the defending champion. You'd mentioned that prior to playing Maryland, that we're going to get everybody's best shot. And that's something that adds to the little package.
Historically, when we take the field, the opponent is going to give us the absolute maximum effort. And that's why we have to be good every week. If we're not, we're going to be in a dogfight and we're going to lose some games.
And that means the Michigan Wolverines have to be good this week because they're going to meet Wisconsin in the Big Ten Conference opener, and the Wolverine players, along with Coach Schembechler, are ready.
We needed this to get ready for the Big Ten. Offensively, it was a good game. They scored a lot of points. Defensively, we made a few errors later on in the game, and we didn't play as well as we were capable of playing, but we're going to get it together for the Wisconsin game.
Main component. What's the longest kickoff return in Michigan history? 99 yards. It was turned in by Dennis Fitzgerald versus Michigan State in 1960.
I didn't feel at that time they were that bad a defensive team, but I think it'll be tougher this year.
And you've always liked Don Morton, their head coach. You think he's trying to get things going over there, and
I think he's
beginning to make progress.
I think he's a classy guy. He took over a very difficult situation. You can't build a football program overnight. It takes a long time to do it, and I think this is only his third year. I think he should have some time to work things out.
And with that defense that's so good, and you still struggling a little bit with the rush, which you're not still happy with, it isn't a blowout that a lot of people are thinking.
No. And the other thing is changing quarterbacks and going to the passing quarterbacks. We'll only have really one opportunity to see them in film. And they were off, you know, this week. And so they've got 2 weeks to prepare for us, and I'm sure they'll have something new.
And that's going to be probably an advantage to them having that extra week.
Oh, I think it will be, because they, you know, if you want to really put in something new for an opponent, you'd like to have 2 weeks to prepare for them.
So there's no question it's not going to be a cakewalk for the Wolverines. Be sure and join us next week on Michigan Replay when we take a look at the Wolverines and Badgers in the Big Ten opener of 1989.